Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving deep into really an extraordinary story. It's about resilience, reinvention, and, well, the true cost of chasing the American dream.
Yeah, it's a journey that really changes how you see family, education, belonging, all of it.
We're looking at this through the eyes of a young girl, and her whole world gets turned upside down.
And what's so compelling, I think, is how our sources give us this really intimate window into her life, adapting to a totally new culture. We'll get into the surprising, sometimes harsh realities of her day-to-day and the huge impact of the choices she has to make.
Right, those aha moments you mentioned, like figuring out unspoken rules, redefining what success even means for her.
Exactly.
We're drawing heavily from Gene Kwok's Girl in translation.
Yeah.
It's such a vivid and, yeah, sometimes heartbreaking look at a family just striving for a better
It
life.
really paints a picture.
So our mission today, to pull out the key insights about overcoming these just immense obstacles, the power of education too, and those complex family bonds, friendship, all tested by adversity.
It's quite a story. Moving, but also really eye-opening.
Definitely. So let's start at the beginning. We have 11-year-old Kimberly Chang arriving from Hong Kong with her mother, Ma.
Right, and they're clutching these dreams, aren't they? Manhattan, shiny department stores, the Statue of Liberty.
The whole postcard image. But what they actually find is starkly different. No skyscrapers nearby. Highways turn into these impossibly wide, kind of dirty avenues, boarded up shops.
Yeah, the Golden Mountain dream meets immediate reality, and their first welcome is this apartment. Very cheap, Mr. N's building.
And it's squalid. I mean, the description, a wet spot of pee at the door, broken windows, dust everywhere, dead roaches, a stained mattress. It just shatters any illusion.
Instantly. And that first meeting with Aunt Paula and Uncle Bob, with that sort of perfunctory box of surprise items, almost an afterthought.
Right, like a small black and white TV, a clock radio.
Right.
Not exactly rolling out the red carpet.
No. And that initial welcome, as you called it, really reveals something deeper about Aunt Paula's supposed kindness, doesn't it? Especially about the housing.
It does. What did it really signal to Kimberly and Ma?
Well, the realization hits hard and fast. Aunt Paula's actions, the weekday move, those last-minute gifts, it feels purposeful, calculated even. Kimberly gets it pretty quick. Aunt Paula wanted to drop us here and have the factory as an excuse to leave fast.
Wow. So the thought is just, Aunt Paula wasn't going to help us. We were alone.
Exactly. A huge realization for a kid. And think about the contrast. Aunt Paula's luxurious Staten Island place, wall-to-wall carpet, hot water, compared to Hong Kong's rationed cold water, let alone this dump.
A world away. And Ma had hoped maybe they could live with Aunt Paula, help with the cousins.
Yeah, that was the initial idea. But Aunt Paula uses Ma's past tuberculosis, even though she was cured, as the reason why not.
Convenient.
Very.
What?
And then comes the factory job offer for Ma, framed like this sweet deal, like a free chicken dinner.
But the catch?
The catch is she fired an old worker just to make space for Ma. It wasn't pure generosity.
So the kindness is really layered with something else. Manipulation, maybe? A subtle kind of control or betrayal.
Definitely feels that way. A real emotional shock after arriving with so much hope.
And then they're plunged into factory life. That must have been another world entirely. Ma's initial silence, her accent getting stronger when nervous, her quiet acceptance. What was that like inside the factory?
Oh, it was a total sensory assault. The air was thick and tasted of metal. The noise, the roar of 100 Singer sewing machines. Seamstresses wearing air filters covered in dirty red dust.
Grim.
And the pay system, piece rate labor. Brutal. 1.5 cents per skirt, 2 cents for pants with a belt, 1 cent for, like, a shirt.
So little.
Kimberly, even then she does the math, Ma's making much less than $2 an hour.
Which means?
Which means the kids have to help. Their contribution, even though they're not officially employed, is absolutely essential just to survive.
Just to get by. And the apartment situation didn't help.
And
Unheated, right?
totally unheated. They had the oven on day and night just for some warmth. Sleeping fully clothed, jackets, sweaters over the blanket.
God, that's rough.
And the detail about the yellowish human-shaped stains on the wall from their bodies pressed against the cold. It just paints this picture of constant grinding hardship, but also incredible endurance.
Incredible courage, really, just to keep going. It's hard to even imagine. So beyond these immediate survival struggles, Kimberly then enters the American school system. Another huge shift.
A massive one. And this is where her Hong Kong education really clashes with the American way and all those unspoken social rules.
How so?
Well, first, there's the whole better school thing. Aunt Paula uses that false address illegally to get Kimberly into a better district. A cynical move, really.
Right. And Kimberly's first day.
A total culture shock. Intimidating security guard, weird food in the cafeteria, minced meat, crushed potatoes, no rice, and then a pop-quick map test she doesn't even understand.
And the teacher? Mr. Bogart.
He just doesn't get it. Annoyed by her English, the no cheap pen incident accuses her of cheating, gives her a 0.
Oh, wow. That's devastating for a kid who was a top student.
Exactly. She was a star student back in Hong Kong, won competitions in Chinese and math. Here, her strengths are completely misunderstood, even punished. It's not just language, it's a whole different system.
That must have crushed her confidence. So this former star student, she learns desperation, basically.
Yeah, it gets so bad she even plays hooky. But then she's terrified, alone in the apartment, thinking about burglars or rats.
But in that despair, she finds something, right? Connections to her past.
She does. Ma's old 78 RPM record, Caruso, singing an aria from Tosca. And the only photo of her family with her pa. It connects her to Ma's own history of lost parents in the Cultural Revolution, pa dying young.
So that shared past becomes a source of quiet strength.
Meanwhile, at school, she's totally isolated. Homemade clothes, haircuts wrong, doesn't fit in with the local kids, doesn't understand games like cooties.
But friendships do start to form, eventually. Crucial ones.
Vital lifelines, really. They help her decode this bewildering new world. There's Annette, her only true friend.
Right, the affluent, outspoken one.
Yeah, becomes political later, but crucially, she helps Kimberly navigate American stuff like eraser versus rubber, the birds and the bees, even slang like XYZ PDQ.
Things you just wouldn't know. And then there's Matt.
Matt, the factory kid, street smart. At first, he kind of mocks her, mimics Aunt Paula, calling her dog flea mama.
Ouch.
Yeah, but then he shows this unexpected kindness, gives her a pork bun, gives his gold necklace to his mom. It's a glimpse of something deeper.
And he's protective of his brother, Park.
Very. And the way he subtly hints about Park being deaf, it touches on that cultural thing, you know, how sometimes disabilities were hidden in traditional families. Shame, protection, keeping face. Another layer of unspoken rules for Kimberly.
So complex. Even the weird incident with the bully, Luke.
Right. She totally misunderstands what courtship means in that context, accidentally punches him, basically, and wins.
And that earns her respect.
Unexpectedly, yes. It helps her feel strangely more at home. It shows how finding your footing can happen in really weird ways.
It really does. Okay, so she's adapting, finding her way, however strangely. And this leads to a huge opportunity, Harrison Prep.
Yeah, a massive turning point. This prestigious private school world away from Brooklyn.
And it's the principal, Mrs. LaGuardia, who sees her potential.
Exactly. She recognizes Kimberly's brilliance, says a kid like her usually gets into specialized public schools, but suggests private school with a scholarship. She really advocates for her.
So Kimberly visits Harrison Prep. What's that like?
Completely eye-opening. Huge wooded campus, tennis courts, football fields, statues. Statues with bare breasts, just no vacant lots. A stark, almost fantasy-like contrast to her daily life.
Must have seems like another planet. But then there's the oral exam hurdle.
Oh, yeah, the accusation. Because her placement scores are impossibly high, they suspect cheating. She has to face the headmaster, Dr. Copeland, the entire science and math faculty.
Terrifying. She must have thought she'd lose it all.
Totally. Her intelligence, which should be her asset, is suddenly making her look dirty. But then Kurt steps in.
Kurt, the classmate.
Right. He admits he saw another student, Cheryl, give someone else, Tammy, the cheat sheet, clears Kimberly's name completely.
Thank goodness. And the result?
She ends up skipping 2 grades in their accelerated program. A huge validation, a massive shift in her path.
So her brilliance, which almost got her into trouble, becomes her golden ticket. But it also creates this double life, right? An internal conflict.
Definitely. She keeps lying to Ma about school stuff, tests, homework, report cards, just trying to shield her from worry. It's a heavy burden.
And her relationship with Matt gets more complicated, too.
Oh, yeah. That bathroom kiss described as something languid and inexorable, so intense. But then almost immediately after, he pulls away, tells her, "My climbing can't reach your heights."
Wow. And then he's seen with Vivian.
Yeah. Leaves her heartbroken. And then you have Kurt as this kind of foil.
The rich, artistic playboy.
Right. flirts with her, struggles academically himself, but offers this different, maybe easier connection. A regular inoculation against Matt, as she puts it. But she's clear-eyed about it, too, notes she's only in love with your body.
So complex, these teenage dynamics under such pressure. And meanwhile, the tension with Aunt Paula finally boils over.
It does. Kimberly and Ma confront her directly about the awful apartment conditions, and Aunt Paula shows her black face, that image of pure jealousy and anger.
Because Kimberly is succeeding.
Exactly. Aunt Paula basically says Kimberly wasn't supposed to do better than Nelson, her own son. The resentment is just laid bare.
And this is where Kimberly finds her voice, isn't it?
Absolutely. She stands up to her, tells Aunt Paula, "If you do anything to hinder us in any way, I will report you to the authorities." A real moment of empowerment.
What a turning point. So what does that confrontation mean for them moving forward?
It strengthens their bond, Kimberly and Ma. They cut ties with Aunt Paula, finally free from that toxic dynamic. And they find a new, cleaner apartment, thanks to Mrs. Avery, Annette's mom.
A fresh start, earned through confronting the past.
Yeah, that challenge to Aunt Paula really marks their independence. They're on their own, but truly on their own terms now.
So this sets the stage for the next big chapter. Yale is on the horizon.
Right, which raises a huge question.
Mm.
What happens when these soaring ambitions clash head-on with the deep emotional ties she's forged? Especially with Matt.
She gets into Yale, full financial aid package.
Yeah.
Just the dream realized, right?
The culmination of everything she's worked for, sacrificed for. But then Matt hits her with his counterproposal.
He wants her to stay.
Yeah. Stay in Chinatown with him in Park, build a life together, forget college. He says, school's not that important anyway. Everything's perfect now. We're so happy.
Oh, man. Talk about being pulled in two directions.
Totally. Her internal struggle is immense. The longing for Matt, the life he represents versus Yale, the laboratories, the astronomy observatory, becoming a professor or a doctor. Her ambition is just burning so bright.
And then the unexpected pregnancy.
Right. Which throws everything into chaos. She even considers abortion, agonizes over it.
But the ultrasound changes things.
That's the pivotal moment. Seeing that small, tadpole-like figure doing gymnastics, she says, in that moment, I started to love him, Matt's child, and mine forever.
So she makes the choice. Keep the baby.
Keep the baby, which means deferring Yale for a year, going back to piecework, sacks of jewelry at home, later working double shifts, sorting mail at night at the post office, more grinding work.
And man's reaction.
Stoic, supportive, will manage, but also tinged with regret, wishing she could do more. She reflects on her own life choice, marrying Pa instead of Bob, saying if she'd married Bob, she would have regretted it the rest of my life. It puts Kimberly's choice in perspective.
Wow. So the narrative jumps forward then. Years later, Kimberly meets Matt again.
Yes. She's an adult now. He's still doing physical labor, still has those golden eyes. And he tells her about his heartbreak, his regret about her decision assuming she had an abortion. You never asked me. You never gave me a chance.
Oof. But she hadn't told him about keeping the baby.
No. And her explanation, it's heavy. She talks about their financial instability back then, feeling like they were hanging on to a tiny piece of flotsam, believing she couldn't make him happy, and her deep obligation to Ma, to herself. I couldn't have changed who I was.
Such a difficult conversation. And then the final detail about Vivian.
Yeah, the revelation that Vivian is pregnant again, it just quietly underscores the different path Matt's life took. It's poignant, showing the lasting impact of those choices.
It really highlights the sacrifices, the forks in the road. So what does Kimberly's life look like in the future?
The book shows her as an adult. She's a pediatric cardiac surgeon, working incredibly hard 80 hours a week, lives in a nice house, a paradise compared to the old one in Brooklyn, with Ma still there.
And she has her son.
Jason, 12 years old. And he looks just like Matt. Golden eyes, bushy eyebrows, even the lock of hair that always fell in his face.
Wow, so that connection is still visible every day.
Right, and there's this contrast, her sophisticated professional life, but she still speaks Chinese to Jason. Ma still wipes her piano. Her roots are still present.
And her feelings for Matt?
Still there. Symbolized by that jade Kuan Yin necklace, the one he gave his mother, which Kimberly now carries. The love endures, even across different lives.
What an incredible journey. This deep dive really shows a life shaped by just grit, huge sacrifices, and so many unexpected turns.
Yeah, Kimberly's story really drives home that the Golden Mountain, it's not some final destination you arrive at. It's a constant climb, right? Marked by these tough choices and, yeah, enduring love.
Absolutely.
And it underscores that idea that knowledge or success isn't just about getting it, it's about understanding it, applying it. It makes you question assumptions,
Yeah.
about what being well off really means.
Hmm.
Her ability to navigate these totally different worlds, factory floor, Yale, surgeon's office, it reminds us that strength comes from surprising places. And even the hardest paths can lead somewhere profound.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening? Maybe consider this. Where in your own life are you making choices for the long haul, for those big aspirations? And what immediate things, maybe desires or comforts, are you sacrificing for them?
Yeah, and how do those complex forces, family, culture, your circumstances, shape how you define success and happiness? It's different for everyone.
Think about the unspoken rules you navigate every single day. We all do. How does understanding those rules maybe unlock new possibilities for you? Something to chew on.